second misconception is that Buddhism is an Oriental religion. This misconception that Buddhism is an Oriental religion was probably due to the misunderstanding that it was closely tied to Oriental cultures. And nowadays, it's very understandable why people have that misconception when you go and see temples, for example. The majority of them have some sort of Oriental architecture traditions with a curly roof. I don't have anything against Oriental architecture, but in order to attract people, especially young people and people of the Western cultures, we need to establish something that can relate to their cultures, what they're familiar with. Sometimes it can seem like going to a temple is like going to a museum because all the ancient architectures and displays, and that can make a person feel out of touch and can make a person feel like a temple or a place of learning Buddhism is historic and it's only for display. It's not meant to be used. Right? You go to a museum to observe things that have passed the time and not to really use. So we need to change that kind of thinking in order to really make Buddhism applicable. And we need to make it relatable to the thinking and the culture of the people of today. And young people, even Asian young people, they have very little appreciation for ancient cultures and value. And so if we really want to attract them, we need to bring something valuable and relatable to them. But why would we want to introduce Buddhism to them? What's the benefits of learning Buddhism? And in particular, Buddhism. I don't want to say this in a biased kind of way, but look at it objectively based on the principles purely. Is that Buddhism teaches the concept of no self, complete selflessness. If a person commits to selflessness, he or she will bring benefits to society automatically. If you're in a group and you're contributing, you're working with other people and you have no self-agenda, the center of the self, then you will put in your best automatically. Right? And you will want to be surrounded and work with people who are selfless as well. When you teach a person, a kid, for example, growing up to observe selflessness, you are teaching a very powerful concept to a child. Because when a child truly understands the concept of selflessness, that child builds self-confidence. A person who is selfish is because there is insecurity within a person, because they want to secure the resources. They feel unsafe. That's why they need to build resources to protect them. But a person who is truly altruistic does not have to protect because they are already confident. They know that they have something that nobody can take away. For example, that meditative bliss. If they are so confident and so strong mentally, psychologically, emotionally, they can face the world without feeling depressed, for example, or feeling that they are weak. No, they will be able to stand against peer pressure. So when we teach a child meditation, selflessness, we are equipping the child a way to defend himself or herself. We cannot protect our children 24/7. But the best that we can do is to give a powerful concept and self-confidence, instill self-confidence in our children that would allow them to protect themselves. When they go to school, they will be able to stand up against peer pressure. They will be able to distinguish between what's wrong and what's right. And so that's why studying Buddhism is not out of bias or prejudice. There is no conversion needed, really. We don't need to convert other people. The only reason why we want to convert other people is because of fear inside us. We want other people to be the same like us because we cannot tolerate differences. That's why we want to convert. But if you are already confident and you know what you want, you know who you are, there is no need to convince other people to be like you. Right? You're already confident. That's the core of Buddhism. When we teach a child selflessness and we teach a child meditation to nourish meditative bliss, we are instilling self-confidence in the child. We should bring Buddhism to young folks because really the world needs a lot of love, right? There's so much hatred in the world, I feel. And we cannot overcome hatred with hatred. The Buddha said, overcome hatred with love, with compassion. Not selfish love, but true compassion, selfless love. And so what do you think that we should do to bring Buddhism? I don't mean Buddhism in a religious sense, again, moving away from that. What can we do to empower the young generation so that they can become self-confident, that they can become contributing citizens, and not just being mindless consumers of social media?